So what are we working on today at ShiftSmart? Let's talk about automating blog posts and social media content. So we're finishing up a huge rebrand for a client who's a real estate investor and agent, does a lot of different things from wholesaling to retail to we buy houses model, acquisition type transactions. And she really needed to kind of take her business to another level. And so we've done a full rebrand, a whole new website, set up a great CRM for her, but we're also doing content. We're building out a full resources area, mostly blogs, to help her clients understand these various businesses that she does and how she can help them, but also to give her a huge lift in SEO and be able to be found in addition to the paid ads work that we're doing for her. So what does that mean in the grand scheme of things? I'm a small business owner. I've been doing it for 15 years, and I know that I am supposed to religiously be doing content, video, blogs, social media posts, email campaigns. It doesn't matter. We're supposed to be putting ourselves out there, marketing ourselves, teaching people what we do so that they can find us. But I also understand as a small business owner that life gets in the way, we get distracted, and content generally falls by the wayside, at least doing it consistently. That's where automation and AI can come in. We can now take off that heavy burden of time and dedication and just consistency and wrap it all up in a nice, neat automation flow that will do this for you in the blink of an eye. We're talking taking 2 to 3 hours to write a blog or having to pay somebody to do that, down to about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much you want to put into this.
All right, so we're going to walk through this pretty closely just so you can see what's happening. Maybe not to be able to do it yourself, but at least understand conceptually what's happening so that you can decide if this is something that is right for you. So as I mentioned, we're doing a full rebrand for a real estate client, but we're also implementing this into ShiftSmart. And so we're going to use ShiftSmart as an example to show you this process. Let's start with the software that you're going to be using. So we're going to be driving this whole process software called make.com. It's a no-code builder that will allow you to do workflows and pull information from any place and make this process just sing and flow the right way. So you'll see exactly what's happening inside this very confusing looking path graphic that you're seeing here. We are going to use Google Gemini, and we're going to create a list of topics that are trending. So we're going to start to use the LLMs that are out there like ChatGPT or Google Gemini to create headlines, titles rather, for the things that you want to be creating blog and other content about. We're going to use Google Drive so that we have a place to deposit all of these pieces of content that we're going to be creating. We're going to be using Google Sheets, which is going to be the trigger. It's what's going to drive all of this movement and what starts this process in make.com. We'll talk about what we're doing here in building a blog platform that is not only going to help you get customers and turn eyeballs into leads, but it's also going to help you with SEO and ultimately making you a credible authority so that when the time comes that these LLMs like ChatGPT start pulling information in about who to quote in results, which is already happening, your name gets mentioned. So we'll talk about how we're structuring that. You're going to have your own blog content platform. This is ShiftSmart's, where you can create a blog and launch it out into the world. Ultimately, this is what we're going to create for us. You can add more design to this if you so choose, or you can keep it simple. And so this is just kind of a format that we've chosen to use. So those are the 4 or 5 platforms that we're going to start with. So let's see how all of this works. Okay, so first let's create a list of topics that you want to start writing blogs on, start doing video content on, what's out there that people are talking about. For ShiftSmart, it's AI, right? And in particular, how does AI and what's happening out there, new softwares, how does it affect and help small business owners? So I'm using Gemini. Again, you could use ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, whatever you're comfortable with. But we've created a prompt just to save time and we're giving it context. So a lot of people that are learning AI just come in here and say, give me a list of 10 trending topics. Well, it's garbage in, garbage out, right? You'll get something, but it may not be applicable to what you want. So the more detail that you give these LLMs, give it a background. For us, you are a researcher and a copywriter specializing in AI topics and current trends. Drill down to your particular niche. For us, we want it to have a specialization on how AI can help small business owners. Give it context of what you want it to do. You've been asked to create 20 blog titles for trending topics. And then you can go a step further and ask it to create these titles in a way that have relevant keywords and are written to convert to readers, meaning give the titles a little bit of pizzazz. So let's see what this does for us. All right, so here are 20 blog titles on AI for small business owners. So you can read through these. I like this one already. 10 AI tools that will save your small business 20 plus hours in a week in 2025. People love lists. So we're going to take this one. And it's important that you keep in mind that we're going to be running a list of titles. So we're going to use all of these, but just for showing you how this whole thing works, we're going to take this first one. And remember, we talked about Google Sheets is what's going to drive all of this. So we've created a special Google Sheet template. We're going to populate it with the titles that we're creating elsewhere. You can also automate this. These next two columns have checkboxes in them, and this is what's actually going to trigger the workflow to help you create the blog automatically. Once the blog is completed, and we'll go through that process, it's going to populate it here in your spreadsheet, but it's also going to deposit it into your Google Sheets folder on your Google Drive so that you can edit it there and clean it up and do whatever you want with it. Ignore that, something that we're doing. This is just a way to keep if we've posted it live or not, because this list is going to get really, really long very, very fast. We are in the process of automating the URL images, but right now I have somebody that's working with me on editing these, just making them humanized and creating those images as well. So this is what's driving everything. You can kind of ignore to the right now. We'll come back and do another video once we've automated all of that piece. So let's go down to the very bottom, and we're going to add our title here. We can take all of these titles and dump them in here. It's a process you can do once a week just to start adding. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh this. And we're going to go down to the bottom again. And once I click on this little check mark, I'm going to start the blog automation process. And we're going to jump back over to Make, and you're going to see this start to run here right now. So what's happening while we're waiting for it to complete? This automation follows three paths. We've got this up here, which actually creates the blog itself. We'll walk through how that happens when it's done. We've got a path here that can automatically post it to Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or X, or any other social media, LinkedIn platform that you have connected. We can automatically post it. And then this path down here is just something that I'm working on to create images through Replicate. We're doing some other things, so we'll ignore that for right now because I think we found a better way to do images. But let's see what's happening. So we clicked off the checkbox, which is what has prompted this to start. Let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. So the workflow is kicking in. We've sent it up this path. This first particular module is creating the outline. So based on the topic that we chose, which is 10 AI tools that will save you 20 plus hours a week. It has created an outline for that blog, what kind of sections, what kind of topics in each section, etc. The second pod is writing the actual blog itself. We've asked it to write the blog using ChatGPT. All of this is using ChatGPT to create a blog that's 2,500 to 3,000 words. You can change that. You can make it 500 words. You can make it 10,000 words. You have a lot of options when you start to create that. You're going to put a prompt in here just like you would on ChatGPT. This one is recreating it in an SEO friendly format. So we want to get all of those really impactful keywords pushed in here and making it SEO friendly so that, again, the whole goal is, yes, to find clients and leads, but also get you that SEO lift. This fourth module is then taking all of this content that we've done so far, it's like a conveyor belt, and we're asking it to write it in a tone that matches Shift Smart's voice, tone, and brand. So I've asked it to be professional, I've asked it to be approachable, throw in a little wit, I want it to have a little bit of excitement. So you can ask it to be silly, you can ask it to be super, super stern and authoritative if that's the content type that you're going for. You can ask it to basically be whatever you want it to be, and that's the module that it's doing here. It's already working through and has done its Google Docs, so it's created a document and deposited it into your folder. We'll check that in just a second. And then by the time we get over here and we've explained this, it is already sitting in my Google Sheets. So let's see what we've got. There's our blog, 10 AI tools, and you've got it all the way down here. And then let's go back into, there it is. All right, so you can take this. This is not meant to replace you. It's meant to make you more efficient and give you a really solid background to be able to start loading up content at a faster pace. So how long would it have taken you to do the research on titles that are trending, right? By going into Google and just kind of seeing what's going on out there, maybe finding some websites that actually allow you to find out what people are asking on Google. We're talking about time here. That's what's happening, and is we're saving time. So then you got to create the blog itself. So how long would it have taken you to write a 3,000 word blog based on the topic and research that you'd already done? How long would it take you to throw in all of those keywords and edit it, etc.? So we've gotten to, 90% of the work done. So take some time, again, not meant to replace you, read through this, edit it, humanize it, throw in some personal anecdotes that ChatGPT or Gemini just wouldn't know, and get to a final draft that you're happy with, that you can throw out there into the world, and then you can move on to start making images. And we're going to talk about that in a separate video. So again, the more you add up, you can add these, go in, maybe on a Monday, add 20 new blog topics, start to process them, and then throughout the week, be creating your images and your thumbnails so that you are able to create your blog to turn out to be something that's really presentable and beautiful and makes you the authority on that particular content. Here I've thrown in the video. You can add additional images that you can create through ChatGPT. You can do a call to action, which we're going to add in here. You can add tags and keywords. So you're building this in a way that makes it easier for ChatGPT and all of these LLMs to find you and make sense of what you're throwing out there in the world to educate on. So have fun with it. If you have questions, drop me a message, or if it's on a platform that's got comments below, I'll get them and be happy to answer them for you. So have fun with this. Save some time and do it yourself. You don't have to pay anybody to do this for you now.